Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sentinel Sports Extra Cavaliers uh, pregame report from Rocket Arena. Um, if you hear any noise in the background, they had a hockey game here earlier, and they are removing. Well, they don't remove the ice, but they put the basketball floor on top of it. It's really them. They've done so much since I got here. In the course half done, and now it's fully done. It's very cool to watch. But we got a game tonight, obviously. This Cavs pregame report is brought to you by CT Roofing and Power Washing, the official roofer and power washer of the Lake County Sentinel. So, the Cavs have now won 3 in a row. It's officially a winning streak. Coming into tonight's game, I've got a nice cut on my chin. Cut myself shaving the other day. Word of advice: do not shave and talk on the phone at the same time. Didn't work. Did not work. Turned bad. Happened on Thursday. Woke up Friday with this thing on my face. I thought it was not that bad of a cut. It turned out to be much worse than I thought. Did bleed quite a bit. But so the Cavs won last night. They beat the Wizards in Washington, 148-114. I think what surprised me about this is that Darius Garland played last night and isn't playing tonight. So I don't know if this is a matchup thing where they think that he doesn't match up well against the Bulls. I don't know, or the lineup they're going to use tonight matches up better against the Bulls. I'm not sure. I would have probably, in my opinion, and I know nothing. But I would have probably saved Garland for tonight. But maybe they didn't want him to come back for one game and then, not play. And so I don't know. But he will not play tonight. We'll see. Obviously it's just rest. And that's how it was listed, as just rest. But they beat the Wizards pretty easily last night. I mean, I think that that was expected. They're now 6-3 on the season. They were 3-3. There were people panicking, but I would have to say those are people with limited knowledge who want to act like they have a lot more knowledge than they do. But what we have is tonight we got Garland out. Chris Livingston's still out. He's a G League. Larry Nance is questionable. Max Strus is still out. And Dean Wade is questionable. For the Bulls, Colby White and Zach Collins are out. And Ayo Dosunmu, I'm sure I butchered that really badly. He's probable. He had a left quadricep contusion, but he is probable. So that's the injury report for this game tonight. And, the Bulls, as I said, the Cavs under 6-3. They're 3-1 at home. They're third in the East, third in the Central Division behind Detroit and Chicago. They're currently a half game behind Chicago. So if they were to win tonight, they would pass them, and they'd be in second place and second in the East. The Bulls are 6-2. They are 1-2 on the road, so they're 5-0 at home. They played 5 games at home, second in the East and second in the Central. The Bulls lead the all-time series, 133-108. I wanted to do some research. earlier. The series, the Cavs trail a series with the Knicks too. So I wanted to do that. I did that last year, and I believe, I can't remember if I'm exactly correct on this, but the Cavs lost like their first 20 games to the Knicks. So the all-time series is very close if you get rid of those expansion years. Of course, you don't, but it gives you a better perspective that the series really hasn't been that lopsided. Bulls lead 133-108. The Cavs do lead at home 64-54, which includes Cleveland Arena, Richfield Coliseum, and the Rocket Arena. But the Cavs lost their first 10 games ever to the Bulls, and then and in their first 20 games against the Bulls, in those expansion years, those first 4 expansion years, first 5 years of the expansion team, the Cavs were 3-17. So since then, the Cavs are 105 and 116. So it's a lot closer. But recent years, in the recent history of the two franchises playing each other, the last 3 years, the Cavs are 11-1 against the Bulls. They won 4 straight, sweeping the 4-game series last season. The last loss came at Chicago on February 24th, 2024, 132-123, the Bulls winning that in overtime. I would say one of the most memorable games recently against the Bulls for the Cavs and for their Cavs fans came on January 2nd, 2023 at Rocket Arena, at that time Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, at Rocket Arena, when Donovan Mitchell scored a career-high 70 points. And the Cavs beat the Bulls in overtime, 145-132. The Cavs outscored them 15-2 in the overtime. The Bulls just ran out of gas that night. And, of course, that was in front of a sellout crowd of 19,432. The starting lineup that night, there were some injuries. The Cavs, if they could ever stay healthy, if they could ever be healthy. But here was the starting lineup for that game on January 2nd, 2023, when Donovan Mitchell scored 70. There were only, Darius Garland was on the injured list. Evan Mobley was out that night. So the starting lineup that night was Donovan Mitchell, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Kevin Love, and Lamar Stevens. Like I said, Evan Mobley and Garland were not available. They were out injured. And this was also the first game that my oldest granddaughter ever attended. I said to my son after the game, she will never see probably a better game in her life. She loves the Cavs too. As soon as she understood what was going on with the TV, what's on the TV, she would say basketball or basketball. So that was her first game. She didn't really like the noise. Kids, sometimes they don't. But she will be turning 4 in 9 days. So my granddaughter, Parker Joy, her first game ever was against the Bulls. That memorable night on January 2nd, 2023, when Donovan Mitchell achieved his career high of 70 points. So that was pretty cool. Game time tonight is 8:00. They're getting the floor together now after a hockey game earlier. But I think that's it for this pregame report. I'd like to again say the pregame report on Sentinel Sports Extra is brought to you by CT Roofing and Power Washing. You can call them at 440-278-0205, and they will give you a free estimate and help you with your insurance claim. They are experts on that. So until after the game, I'm Tim Shirer. We'll talk to you after the game, and hopefully it's a Cavs win. But you can also read my article after the game at LakeCountySentinel.com. That's LakeCountySentinel.com. Sentinel, SENTINEL.com. LakeCountySentinel.com. And, that's pretty much it. I hope to see you after the game. Thank you for watching.